You're listening to Empowered to Lead, the Therapist Practice. I'm Lisa Catello, therapist, business coach, and your go-to for all things leadership and sustainable practice growth. This is your space for real talk, smart strategies, and grounded support to help you lead with confidence, work with intention, and build a business that actually works for you. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Empowered to Lead. This is a podcast that has a focus on helping group practice owners, clinic owners, in navigating the important role that we have as leaders and business owners. And so over the summer, these are conversations with different group practice owners that have experienced some of the struggles, some of the pain points that we as group practice owners feel on a regular basis. And so partly like to normalize, you're not the only one going through this. And also as you hear people's stories, I'm hoping that you're going to pull out things that you can walk away with to help you to just keep sustaining, keep moving forward as a group practice owner. And so today we're talking to Rachel Frankford, and I'm so excited. We have I've journeyed alongside you for a number of years. I meant to look back and see, but you've gone from like starting a group practice to now you just opened your third location. And so I'm so excited to have you here. So the first question that I usually ask is, how would you describe yourself as a leader? And then we'll go into tell us a little bit about your practice and where you are. And then we'll dig into expansion. But yeah, how would you describe yourself as a leader, Rachel?
You know, this is an interesting question. And it really made me lean into thinking about leadership and realizing like sort of my discomfort around leadership or acknowledging myself as a leader. So I have to really think about, okay, what do I aspire to be? And also the fact that I have stepped into being a leader by virtue of starting a group practice. And I would say what I think is really important as a leader is, well, first of all, I created group practice because I believe in the power of the collective, the group, not just the individual. So I think I see myself as a leader, as a guardian of that space. Okay. And so really protecting that space. And I've learned through experience how important it is to be a guardian. And also my role as leader is to protect that space in service of each person really coming into their strengths and their gifts.
Okay.
So that's kind of what resonates for me right now in this moment of what's important as a leader, what I aspire to.
I love that perspective. And I feel like I could go and chat with you for a very long time just about that piece. So maybe we'll have you come back on because today is about expansion. But I think a lot of
it's all related to expansion. And, you know, you have to be a really, like I've learned as it gets bigger, like I have to be even stronger guardian as it gets bigger. Like that energy of guardianship is really important as you get bigger.
Yeah. And so is that, that means saying no and yes if you're a guardian, and that protection element. There's a woman, Priya Parker, she wrote a book, The Art of Gathering.
Yeah.
And one of the things that stood out from me in that is like, you do exclude because you're protecting the environment, hey?
Yeah. She articulated that really well.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you, how your trajectory has happened as a group practice owner. Did you always know you wanted to be a group practice owner?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just didn't want to be alone. I wanted to be a group. Like that was, I mean, that's really the motivator. I just don't like doing things on my own. I'm a collaborator by my nature.
Okay.
And so the group that I wanted to be in didn't exist. So I had to create it. That's really how it happened. I never wanted to be a group practice owner. And I never really had an aspiration to be a business owner either. So I really had to learn it through experience. because that's a huge part of it is learning how to be a business owner. You don't learn that as a therapist or I'm a social worker. So my path, so where can I start? Like, I'll just share briefly, like my background was as a hospital social worker for 15 years. And, I really loved that work in some ways, but it reached its limit. Like I couldn't do it anymore. And so I went into practice on my own. And, it fit me better, my life better, because I wanted to get more in depth in therapy.
Okay.
And not like, I wanted to go further as a therapist, but also close to my kids. And when they were, if they're in school and growing up. So
that was an exchange there even, hey? Like, because you said you never imagined being a business owner. And so you go into private practice and you become a business owner. Yeah. And it was worth it.
Was a real shift to think, like that was my first experience of shifting into thinking as a business owner. And then I realized it's sort of at a stage of my life where it's like, I wanted to have my own space. Like space has always been very important for me.
Okay.
And space is part of therapy as well. So I found a space. I should explain what I do. Like I'm a therapist. I'm in Toronto, and we have a group practice in Toronto, downtown Toronto, we're basically on campus of U of T.
Okay.
And so this is my neighborhood, it's my location, it's my community. And the space came up in 2019, just before the pandemic. And I thought, well, I'm going to renovate this space so it's like the space I want to be in for at least 10 years. And I can I was doing neurofeedback as well as psychotherapy. And I wanted to have spaces dedicated for neurofeedback and also space for therapy that was curated in a way that I feel, comfortable, and other people would feel welcome and comfortable in a professional space. So I went for it. And I created a space with 5 rooms, and, I basically bootstrapped it all, thinking, I can amortize it over 10 years and it'll be, no risk, no brainer. And then within a year, the pandemic hit.
Yes.
And it was really scary.
And neurofeedback isn't something that you do virtually.
No, you don't do it virtually. And, I was carrying a big, overhead. And everyone was letting go of their overhead. And I just stepped into doing, and I hadn't got the group practice, I had renters at that time. But I really had a vision of doing integrated therapy with holistic, I would say integrated holistic therapy with neurofeedback and somatic therapy. And so that was sort of what motivated me. But the early days were pretty scary. And
yeah, I remember that.
The fortunate thing was I met you, right? In January 2009, where the pandemic hit.
Yes.
And I had realized I need to learn how to think like a business owner. And that was, I don't know if you remember, it was your first group. I think they were like,
yeah.
What?
Yep.
And anyway, if it wasn't for that got me on the train of learning to think like a group practice owner. Yeah. And it was 50 days right from the beginning.
So you have grown from having a space with 5 offices and
renters,
going through COVID and renters and all of that.
Yeah.
And then did you fill that up with renters then?
So gradually, what happens slowly, it's a slow evolution. And this is also what I kind of appreciate about this. It's I'm 6 years in now. And, or is it almost 7, right?
7 now.
Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah.
And it's been a very slow evolution. So, one thing I know, looking back, this doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow evolution.
Okay.
So I've been, started to bring on some contractors to work with me, and started to develop our identity and our brand and our culture. And so slowly brought on subcontractors who were people that I'd worked, like some of them people that I worked with. And we started creating a culture. Now I think we're 9 clinicians.
Okay.
And some specialize in neurofeedback. Some of them specialize in more somatic therapy and mindfulness. So, we've evolved. And then we also, I think 3 years into it, I ended up taking a lease on a second unit. So it's all on the same floor, right? It's the same building. So it was down the hallway, another space came up, and I just saw the potential in this. I guess what I do is I see potential in the space. It's quite a beautiful space. Like people come in and they say it feels like home.
Okay.
And we're sort of expanding. And then this year, I'll sort of jump forward. There's been a lot of things happening, but I thought it was sort of at a place where, okay, like I think I got a handle on things. I can manage this with not too much stress. Like, it was a lot of stress. And I got to a place where I straightened things out with like the organization and the finances, what we're talking about, like finance being a huge piece of this.
Yeah.
And the team. And then this new space came up on the same floor at the back of the building. So it's a professional building, but it's got a lot of like character and history. And space came up at the back of the same floor, and it overlooks this park right downtown Toronto. And it's just like you're looking at this field and it's great, big sky. And it was a dump because the person who was there before was there for like 40 years at the end.
Oh, wow.
But again, when I come into spaces, I just see potential.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how my brain works, is like I see space and I see potential. And I couldn't get out of my head, like the walls have to be knocked down, it has to be group space. And I was feeling like even this space, the second space that I got, there's a room that's sort of big. And I thought, we'll do groups. Because when I worked at the hospital, I ran groups. So I worked at St. Michael's Hospital. I ran therapy groups in outpatient psychiatry. And I just knew the power of groups. Like, therapy really does get amplified when you do groups.
Yes.
And so I just couldn't put this idea down. And I needed a hole in the head. Right? So anyway, long story short, I ended up saying yes. And we renovated it. And it's beautiful. Like, did a beautiful renovation. It's just, you just want to spend time in there. It's just an open space with beautiful wood floors. Very simple. We painted the ceiling. It's just got the view is beautiful. It's on the 3rd floor, so it's not too far up.
Okay.
And so it was a very good energy. And we opened it last month. April 20th was our official opening.
Okay. I was thinking that was your 3rd space.
That is my 3rd space. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's the 3rd space.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So actually we call it the 3rd space. So
yes. Yeah. That's why that stuck with me. So let's talk about... Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say there's a story behind the name, the 3rd space.
Yeah. Let's share that. I remember seeing that on your social media.
It came to me because someone sent me a website of a place called Temple of the 3rd Space. And this is before I'd named it. A place I did visit in San Francisco. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. What is 3rd space about? I looked it up, and it's a thing. 3rd space is like, 1st space is home, 2nd space is work, and 3rd space is where people come together for community and learning and gathering and growing.
Okay.
And so as soon as I looked that up, I was like, oh, boom, that's the name of our new clinic. 3rd space, because it's rec community.
Yes.
And it's literally our 3rd space.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And a culmination of when you said, like, I wanted to be in community and working, it's like a visual of both the team that you're building and reaching out to community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in person and in space that's intended for that. Like, because what I've also noticed with the work that we do, like, because a lot of our work is focused on, we use the language of nervous system regulation. That people have a hard time being we're meant to co-regulate with each other in space, in shared space, and a lot of people have lost the ability to do that, to feel safe with others, because they're so used to being online.
Yeah.
So that was the other connection.
Okay. What made you, so if we go back to the first space, it's 2019 and you see this space with 5 offices and you had a team at that, you didn't have anybody yet.
I just had renters. Like day one, I had renters.
Okay. What made you, well, 3 questions. What made you decide to take on that space? What was the best thing about it? And what's something you learned from that
one?
Yeah, that first one.
Well, I would say, like it was in a location, like a building that, like I knew the location was right.
Okay.
The location has a lot to do. So it's right, on the subway line. It's right on campus of the U of T. Like there were so many factors, and I wanted a space where I could do the neurofeedback requires a special room.
Okay.
So and I had a friend who's actually was moving into the same room, so same building at the same time, and I think that also gave me some courage. Have someone else doing the same thing.
And the friend was starting a group practice too, or just to know there was someone else there.
They were doing something different. Interestingly, they were starting something to do with groups.
Oh, okay.
They weren't really in competition. They were running groups in their position.
Okay.
So it was different.
Okay.
But it did give me courage. I think that's really important. It's like having allies, courage.
Yeah.
And I wasn't scared of doing renovations. I have I can see things that need to happen. So I was good with that.
So you are not like me. Well, it's hard to see that and decorating and all of that for me and a few group practice owners I've talked to. Is like that. Putting that together almost feels painful, but not for you.
Part.
Yeah.
I love that part. And I work with a lot of like artists, and I think I can resonate with the visual stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. What was one of the best things about that first place, about expanding into 5 offices?
To be honest, it was to have my own space.
Okay.
That was mine, and it had my energy and my signature. Like that felt really important because I always felt crowded out. Like, when it's like hospital or even in my home with like 3 kids, like I didn't have my space. Like it just felt good to have like, designing a space how I wanted it, and I could show up. Yeah, I could sort of be my best self. Like that was really it.
Okay. What's something you learned from opening that space, that first one?
Well, I think, I made decisions quickly because in terms of like I was renting out space.
Okay.
To make ends meet, which was, I was able to do that. Like I didn't go under, which was like a blessing of itself. But I think I made decisions quickly, and some of those decisions weren't right. So there wasn't sometimes there was some times where there was alignment, and then there was some others when there wasn't an alignment, and those like showed up, like those cracks got bigger.
Okay.
Right. And so I wasn't as like, I didn't know how to be as discerning as I am now, because especially when you're doing healing work in this space, there has to be like, and this is again, coming back to the guardianship.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know that I needed to be a guardian. Like everyone who's in the healing space is like not always aligned. Right.
Okay.
And so like divisions can happen very easily if someone's disgruntled.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And I think that's the whole learning about leadership, right? Someone's disgruntled, like you gotta nip that in the butt. You have to have your eyes open, even if you have a spidey sense, like so feel paranoid. It's like, no, my spidey senses.
Yes.
I've learned it's usually right.
Yeah. I remember I was listening to a book recently, and they talked about like developing that gut instinct, or maybe it was a podcast, doesn't really matter, but learning how to listen to that, and even having mistakes or ways that you didn't listen or you thought it was, but so many of us. Like there's something there, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
This it's either like, yeah, this is awesome and it's not shiny object syndrome, or yeah, it could work. And that's not really the best route to go if it's that way. Okay. So then you come to the opportunity to bring on a second space.
Mm-hmm.
What was different about that? Either decision-making process or like how you knew it was time to add that on?
That's a good question, because that part is a bit blurry for me. I was like, how some people have addictions to like buying beautiful things.
Yes.
I kind of have an addiction to So I remember actually an opportunity. It's like, oh, it's an opportunity. It's like, I don't know if you can see it. Like, it's like, I just saw like, I just wanted the space. And also, like, how did I know? Like, I felt like we were moving in the right direction. Like our team was starting to get traction. Like we started to have a bit of a core team. So I probably thought I was doing better than I was, like in terms like, okay, oh, I can make this work. And if it doesn't work out, it's a really nice space and I'll just rent it out. Like I was willing to take that risk.
Yeah.
And I thought
maybe not quite full enough to add space.
No, definitely not. But the space was beautiful to like lose the opportunity. And also like it had a private bathroom in here, and it was too good an opportunity to pass up. And so I thought, if it doesn't work out, and this has kind of been my patterns, like I'm not stable enough. Like I move into these expansions, I guess they were expansions, before I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Because I see the potential for it.
So a little terrifying. Your risk tolerance is pretty decent.
It's not a wise thing to do because, like, we're all about nervous system regulation. It has not been good for my nervous system.
Yeah.
But I do it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So what's one thing that went really well with that or felt really positive about adding that second one? And what was a learning from there?
Well, this space, remember I said the first one, it felt really good to have my own space. Like, coming from a big family, you never have your own room. It's like, oh, I get my own room. So you're really relieved with that. But then this one is like, oh no, this is my space. Like I have no doubt about it. Like I love it. And it really, like I couldn't work at home. Like I really love, and especially if I'm going to be doing this for the long haul, I really love this space. Like it feels like, I feel like I can be my best self in this space. And then there's also other people, like one of my colleagues, who's a very dear friend. Like she's like, she's has one of the rooms, and then there's another colleague who is like, we've energetically kind of found like this is our home. And I think like that's really important to feel that sense of home in the therapy. It's like our own therapy space, our own business.
Okay. What's something you learned?
That I learned, I think it's interesting. Someone came in the other day for the first time and she said, oh, this feels like home. Right. And I guess I've been saying this all along, but I guess it's reinforced. I just learned the value, like really the value of space for this work of healing.
You slowed down there as you're talking like that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I guess it just, like, I'm just absorbing the truth in that. Like, it's not just the decor, it's the energy that you put into the space. So even when I learned from the first one, when I wasn't a guardian and some of that misaligned energy came in, and I was dysregulated. Like, I couldn't really do the work that I needed to do because I kind of felt threatened, to be honest. Like I had to watch my back. And when I'm in this space and I'm with, people who are like, we're committed together to do this work as a team. And I feel that I don't like, yes, I am the leader, but I feel like there's a really strong sense of commitment and alignment at a very deep level that I feel safe.
Okay.
I feel safe and they feel safe. And so I think that's the learning that I have. Like, this is, even though the other spaces are beautiful, and I feel like there's a home there for, like, especially with neurofeedback. This is different. Like, this has a different vibe or signature.
Okay.
They all kind of, the other interesting thing is they all fit together. Like,
yeah, even as you're saying that, like the way that you described, like the first space is, I think you said home, and then second space is work, and then third space is community. It sounds like each of these are filling those too.
Well, they're all interconnected, right?
Yeah.
They all have their own purpose, and they all sort of fit into the whole. Like under the umbrella pathways.
Yeah. The first two offices are on the same floor.
All of them are.
Oh, okay. So the third space also is. So you're all on the third floor.
Yeah.
So then walk me through the decision for the third space. I know you saw it and
that was a hard one. It was a really hard one because, and it has, a lot of it has to do with finances as well, like taking on risk with finances.
Yeah.
And, it took me a long time to get to a place of stability with the business, like having a fairly steady flow of revenue and predictable, like relatively predictable, work with our core team, rather than we had some bumps, like people coming and going, as any practice does, but we kind of got to a place of stability. And I was hoping to get to a place where I could be relatively stable, that I didn't have to keep doing the work of building, because it was exhausting, doing the work of building and doing the work of keeping up my clinical practice. Like, I was kind of getting to a place where, like, I don't have much life to keep it going. And I did some work last year. I will do a shout out to Tanya with Richardson.
Yes,
worked with.
Yeah, with cash flow canvas and all the numbers.
Such a blessing to work with her. Which is and it was such a synchronicity to see that you were working with her.
Yes, yeah,
right.
She just explains numbers in a way that is understandable.
But I did the work with her, so I met her through a coaching, like a peer program that I signed up to do her program of getting the numbers straight. And I spent like 3 months getting my numbers straight last year, exactly a year ago. And so, that 1 year, like, I was going through a lot of problems with, like, getting the right bookkeeper, getting getting a handle on the finances of the business and feeling stable with that. So I got there, and I could have been, relatively easy, but then this third space came up. So here's the thing with expansion. It wasn't, and maybe this is something to learn here around expansion. Like, maybe people think they expand when they've got the financial stability and then it's safe to do that. I didn't do it that way. I think that's been a theme for each of them. I see the potential, and it's like, I can figure this out, but I get on this rocky ground. So when the space came up, and I just couldn't put down the vision, like, the vision was stronger than
the finances.
We are stronger. Yes, they're like, I'm like bootstrapping all of this, right? Like, literally bootstrapping and, like, having to keep up my revenue.
Yeah,
quite high, as, like, I'm, my revenue stream is load bearing of this practice, which is not ideal. I mean, I love doing the practice, but it shouldn't, like, to keep everything up, like, load, you can only load bear so much, right?
Yeah.
The vision was much stronger than the practicalities of it.
And you still chose to do it.
I still chose to do it. And I don't know, like I learned to listen more intuitively around things.
Okay.
And that may seem a little, I don't know, irresponsible, but it hasn't so far, hasn't been wrong.
And so each of these spaces have been stretching financially, numbers wise, as far as team, bringing in clients. It's been, would you use the word stretch or like, okay.
It's load bearing.
Like, yes.
Load bearing. Let's
yes.
That way.
Ever terrifying? Was it ever?
Yeah. Sometimes I was like, why am I doing this? But I can't not do it.
Okay.
So I don't know
something that says keep going. And no, I don't, like, that's why I wanted to do some of these stories, because all of us are going to have, I'm talking to a couple other people who like with expansion and what that process is. And one of the things that I'm hearing you say is that community, that guardianship, that space is so important, and a little bit of like, and I love figuring out the space and decorating and creating a place for people. When you were saying, I don't know if you use this actual term, but like you get spaces, like the term that was going through my head is that you collect spaces. Catherine Atkinson, that I had on the podcast, I think it was in the fall, she gathers people. And so we just actually came off a call with that Practice Connection, and she was like, yeah, I just like this is the first time I've said no to somebody, because I just bring people in. And it feels like you're saying that about space. Like if it feels good, it's worth maybe some of the sacrifice, maybe some of the stress that you've got, because that environment is important for you as you're creating your group practice, as you're growing your group practice.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Like, I think I collect people, but it's more in community. Like the idea is community, like the space as a holder of the community.
Yeah.
People. Right.
And like, so when you're a guardian of space, I imagine that even gives a filter for who gets to be in your group practice. Like how do they feel in this space? Because, if they don't.
That's very interesting too, because the other thing I've been observing now that I'm sort of more clear around like my role. So first I'm actually articulated in the podcast, but that's really quick. The guardianship. But I've been acting that way more. Like I'm much more cautious around, okay, is this the right thing to do, right vibe or not? But there's like more like a pull energy. Okay. So the people that are coming are already aligned, like even with the client. Okay. And we actually going through some transitions right now with our group. So we actually have 3 people coming on, and there's I don't know, there's just more like it's happening more like with resonance. Yeah. More clearly than it had. Like, I mean, I think everyone, like everyone here has a resonance, but I don't need to go seeking out, like, even when actually, that's just so interesting. When I had to seek out I got to the point where I needed to get the right admin person. Yeah. And so I realized I was load bearing way too much. And I'm like, okay, this has to stop. And so I put it out there to the universe to get somebody. And I had like 200 people apply. Okay. And again, shout out to Alex, my intake manager. And it was like the right residence. It was like, boom. And I didn't even have to read 200 like applications. I just read one email like, oh, that feels right. And it was like, I mean, she's an equine therapist. She's a therapist. Like, she knows how to speak to people. Like, she's absolutely the right person for this position. So I think that's sort of what's happening now is like when your guardian of the space, you get clear about it, like something happens. Yeah. It's much more alignment. And it makes it easier. Like I don't have to be like, I can be more trusting of like, I don't have to be looking behind my back and think, okay, what's going on here?
You're clearer of what you need and what the space needs in there.
Yeah, and the right people. I mean, talking about space, allows for the right people to be collected and come into the space.
Yes.
The right alignment.
If somebody were to say to you, hey, I'm thinking about adding another space or moving expansion and all the stressors that come with that, what would be one piece of advice that you would give them?
Get a business coach. Honestly. Yeah. Honestly.
Okay.
Get a business coach. Well, I'll share the other thing that is interesting, like in terms of expansion. So it's so interesting. We had our opening on April 20th.
Yes.
And April 19th was our opening ceremony. The April 20th, I got into a program called Ella Ascend. Do you know what that is?
No. So
I've been like taking advantage of anything. This is also a big shout out to the forum. Forum. So everyone should know about the forum. So it's a charity it's sponsored by Scotiabank and it's for women in business.
Okay.
And so you can be matched with so you get mentorships or free mentorship. And so I've benefited from it. Like I've had a couple of mentors who worked with me like over a year each. And then I worked with a peer mentorship program. That's where I met Tanya. So working with other women in business. And so not all therapists, like women in business who are dealing with the same kinds of issues that I've been facing. So it's great because you don't feel alone in it. And like in entrepreneurship. And then there was this other program called Ella Ascend, which is competitive. So you have to apply for it. And they choose I think it's 20 women who are at a place of scaling. So talk about expansion.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of us. So I just got into it, started April 20th. And it's like a mini MBA.
Oh, okay.
So and any of these programs, they have these structures to help you learn how to do the business side of things. And they give you the language of business. So I would say anyone doing expansion, you got to get better at, this is what, keep leveling up in your business skills. And this is I keep doing I started with my first step was that, that
ambition clients. Yeah.
Right. That was my starting point. And I just kept getting mentored and I kept learning the language of business, the hard language of business and the numbers. And, there's so many facets, there's the marketing side of it. So there's so much to learn as a business owner. So I would say if you're going to do any kind of expansion, keep leveling up with your business skills and don't make sure you're investing in your business skills, however that looks. I think that's more valuable than any of these, I do believe it's important to certify and to keep training as a therapist, but oh my God, you have to invest. And to your point, what you put your energy into is so valuable.
Yeah.
Anytime you level up, you have to keep leveling up your business skills.
Yeah. And that sounds counterintuitive when you're about to spend a crap load of money on a new space to go spend more money to get the support.
Or find it for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was lucky to, I got accepted in this program and I'm not paying any money for it.
Yeah. Right. So it can be peers, it can be a business coach, it can be, so in BC, they've got Women Entrepreneurs BC. I think they've got that in Ontario, looking for the support. Basically, what I hear you saying, don't do it alone. And
you know what? That's what, and I would say take, well, do the finance course that you're like that you've taken on from Tanya's model. Like, you have to invest in your skills. Like and that's what Tanya said. So she said she created it because people were taking on like these roles with absolutely no skills, and then they were losing, like they were losing money. Yeah, because they didn't know how to manage it.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your experience. It's I love this part of the podcast of my job is just hearing, like, I have worked with over 450 group practice owners. And I would say, even though there's like the base of we need systems and we need structure in there, and there is some basic ways of doing that, important ways of doing that. And there's 450 different ways of actually doing a group practice, right? Like 100%. It needs to fit for you and the vision that you've got, the personality you've got, what you're trying to create. And so, finding some of that support, hearing stories to know that you're not alone, finding maybe peer groups. I'll put a plug in. I've got the Group Practice Connection membership for that purpose. And then we're doing the numbers room and really just focusing in on how do you understand your numbers and how does that align with who you want to be as a leader and give you confidence in there. And then as you explore expansion, whether that's growing your team or adding spaces in there, just having that support, because it is stressful. It's a stretch. It grows you in ways that you don't really expect. I remember when I opened my second location, I was like, oh, I forgot how stressful it is to open a location. It's almost like giving birth. I don't quite remember how pain of it.
I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
That was the famous thing was I have 3 kids. And after my second birth was terrible, and I said, I'm never going to do that again. The second space is like, here I am with third. Anyway, it's only go beyond 3, so I think I'm safe.
Unless somebody opens up another office on your floor. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Rachel. It was really good to have you on here. If people wanted to check out your space and see what you've created, would they check out your website, or how would they see that?
Check out our website. I've started something. I mean, one of the things I've learned, I'm starting to do is like try to communicate better. So even with like this podcast, and I started to do a Substack, and so I'm starting to like do some reflections and stuff. So like the website, and then I'm starting to Substack.
So that what is the website? What would they be looking up?
It's www.newpathwaystherapy.com.
Okay. And you're also on social media, right?
On social media,
It's New Pathways Therapy.
At New Pathways Therapy, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And for those who are listening in, I hope that you walk away with a little bit of a nugget on how to navigate expansion and adding space, and go and follow Rachel and see that beautiful third space. Until next time, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with me on Empowered to Lead, the therapist practice. I hope you're walking away with something that you can put into action, because leadership isn't about doing more, it's about leading with purpose. If you're ready for deeper support, I'd love to see you inside the Group Practice Connection, my monthly membership where Canadian therapists like you get coaching, community, and the tools to build a business that actually supports your life. You can check it out at grouppracticenetwork.ca. The link's in the show notes. And hey, don't forget to hit follow so you don't miss what's coming next. We're building something great here, and I'm so glad you're a part of it.